This whole movement is to inspire others. You know, if you're in a city and you're not happy with your city council, this is for you. This is what this call is for. This big tent called the America First movement is really not a Republican thing or Democrat thing or independent. It's an America First thing. We cheer for our nation. When we're in those stands, you know, every country is cheering in that pride and that camaraderie. And that's what this chant is.
People came to me, sir, we could cancel our evening event. I'm sure the people wouldn't mind. I said, are you crazy? I'm not canceling. There's no way. I'm not canceling. There's no way. We never even...
And that's what this movement's about. This is to inspire people, say, hey, we want you on city council. We want you as county commission. We want you as governor. We want you as state court judge, superior court. And God, please, we want y'all as district attorneys.
Thank you. I love you too.
You know, historically, every once in a generation, a Trump comes along to inspire, to breathe hope.
Don't say that I'll start to cry, and that wouldn't be good for my image. We don't want it. You don't want to see me cry.
And he says, you know, sometimes you got to go somewhere and start over and pick yourself back up.
Thank you.
And it's just like, damn, it's common sense.
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want.
And that's what you need in leadership. And sometimes you have to go through the uncomfortableness in order to get to a comfort level.
We're going to usher in a new golden age of American security, prosperity, sovereignty, and freedom for our citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life.
Exactly 12 weeks ago this evening on this very ground, a cold-blooded assassin aimed to silence me and to silence the greatest movement, MAGA, in the history of our country. MAGA. We love MAGA. For 16 harrowing seconds during the gunfire, time stopped as this vicious monster unleashed pure evil from his sniper's perch, not so far away. But by the hand of providence and the grace of God, that villain did not succeed in his goal, did not come close. He did not stop our movement. He did not break out our spirit. He did not shake our unyielding resolve to save America from evils of poverty, hatred, and destruction. Yet we are here this evening in record numbers. This is a big crowd.
Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
This field is now a monument to the valor of our first responders, to the resilience of our fellow citizens, and to the sacrifice of a loving and devoted father, a really great man, you know that.
I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets, he went right over the top of them and was hit. What a fine man he was. I ask that we observe a moment of silence in honor of our friend Corey.
I will fear no evil.
It was a no-brainer. Absolutely no-brainer. And he did what most people say they would do. Oh, I'm completely humbled. And it's an honor for me.
Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
You know, try not to remember him as the man that was shot at the rally. You know, just try to remember Corey as, you know, he was a great man that was a great father. He was a great husband.
I will fear no evil.
I've heard so many people say, oh, he just did what any good father would do.
And when I turned is whenever he fell down, and that's when I started screaming, and I was instantly, like, I was trying to keep him from bleeding, and somebody had thrown down a towel, so somebody behind us must have seen what was going on, and I was just holding it there and just screaming for anybody to help.
I will fear no evil.
He was a husband, a father, a son, an uncle, and he was the glue to our family. He was our strength. He was everything to us, and that is what got taken from this world.
And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
President Trump was speaking on the stage, there has been some kind of disturbance that clearly sets law enforcement and Secret Service into motion, immediately jumping around the former president in a protective mode. The crowd has been screaming. They are standing by. You can hear some voices there saying, are we ready to go? Are we ready to go? We are looking at President Trump. This does not look good. I'm going to be honest with you, from what we can see right here, it looks like they are attempting to move him out, that he may have been injured.
And one of those things of being uncomfortable is what he says.
Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. As you already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. It was a warm, beautiful day in the early evening in Butler Township in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Music was loudly playing, and the campaign was doing really well. I went to the stage, and the crowd was cheering wildly. Everybody was happy. I began speaking very strongly, powerfully, and happily, because I was discussing the great job my administration did on immigration at the southern border. We were very proud of it. Behind me and to the right was a large screen that was displaying a chart of border crossings under my leadership. The numbers were absolutely amazing. In order to see the chart, I started to, like this, turn to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet. And moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place. I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage and pounced on top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet in a certain way I felt very safe, because I had God on my side. The amazing thing is that prior to the shot, if I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight. We would not be together. The most incredible aspect of what took place on that terrible evening in the fading sun was actually seen later. In almost all cases, as you probably know, and when even a single bullet is fired, just a single bullet, and we had many bullets that were being fired, crowds run for the exits or stampede, but not in this case. This massive crowd of tens of thousands of people stood by and didn't move an inch. In fact, many of them bravely but automatically stood up looking for where the sniper would be. They knew immediately it was a sniper, and then began pointing at him. You can see that if you look at the group behind me. That was just a small group compared to what was in front. Nobody ran, and by not stampeding, many lives were saved. But that isn't the reason that they didn't move. The reason is that they knew I was in very serious trouble. They saw it. They saw me go down. They saw the blood and thought, actually most did, that I was dead. They knew it was a shot to the head. They saw the blood. And there's an interesting statistic. The ears are the bloodiest part. If something happens with the ears, they bleed more than any other part of the body. For whatever reason, the doctors told me that, and I said, why is there so much blood? He said, it's the ears. They bleed more. They didn't want to leave me. They knew I was in trouble. They didn't want to leave me. And you can see that love. Bullets were flying over us, yet I felt serene. But now the Secret Service agents were putting themselves in peril. They were in very dangerous territory. Bullets were flying right over them, missing them by a very small amount of inches. And then it all stopped. Our Secret Service sniper, from a much greater distance and with only one bullet used, took the assassin's life. I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here. Thank you. But I'm not. And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God. Many people say it was a providential moment. Probably was. When I rose surrounded by Secret Service, the crowd was confused because they thought I was dead. And there was great, great sorrow. I could see that on their faces as I looked out. They didn't know I was looking out. They thought it was over. But I could see it. I wanted to do something to let them know I was okay. I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." Thank you. Once my clenched fist went up, and it was high into the air. You've all seen that. The crowd realized I was okay and roared with pride for our country like no crowd I have ever heard before. For the rest of my life, I will be grateful for the love shown by that giant audience of patriots that stood bravely on that fateful evening in Pennsylvania. Tragically, the shooter claimed the life of one of our fellow Americans, Corey, comparator, unbelievable person, everybody tells me.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
I'm going to do what's right for you. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that gives you that freedom of ability to govern. And that's what this whole movement's about, is because you don't own him. And there's a lot of great America First Congress people who got elected in the last few years under President Trump's leadership that are carrying the same torch. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, how we're going to build this great nation bigger and better, is electing good men and women who don't want to be owned by special interests and pay to play. That is the antidote for success of the United States.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.